What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to be back on videos here. We're getting into midsummer or so. It's early July right now, and I want to talk to you about food plot shortcuts that cause you to fail. What you have to understand is, if you take a brief look over social media, or really YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, look at the people that you follow. Okay, look at the people that you follow, the people that are out there teaching you food plots and habitat management. Look at their food plots. How do they look? Okay, how do they look? Then you go to, say, these forums and things, these social media groups, food plot groups and things, especially on Facebook. The people in these groups, look at their food plots. They are the ones that are struggling, right? My point is, look at the people that's doing it right on social media. There's tons of people, on YouTube that teach you food plots. Not just me. There's tons of people that have amazing food plots. The guys that are struggling on these forums, look at the things that they are asking for. They are looking for shortcuts. When you do shortcuts, you're causing yourself most times to fail. It's not guaranteed. You might be able to do shortcuts and things work out in your life, but majority of times, if you follow the proper steps, you'll avoid these failures. So hopefully that part of it makes sense. Now, in 2024, in the food plot world, hunting world, even everything outside of hunting, there's tons of shortcuts in life. And you have to be aware of that, because if you want true success, most times you can't do these shortcuts. But in the food plot world, there's all these little gadgets and tricks and shortcuts to sell to people, because that's what people want. So there's a market for it, right? So these companies are making a lot of money. What is a shortcut in the food plot world? Well, there's lots of things. Most of it, what I'm still seeing is guys aren't getting soil samples. It's wrong. If you do not get a soil sample, you're doing it wrong, okay? You have to get a soil sample. All these people ask 24/7, what fertilizer do I use? Nobody knows. If somebody answers it for you, they're guessing. They don't know either. They're just answering and telling you an answer because it's what they heard or seen somebody type, right? Then you go down a rabbit hole, look at their food plots, look at the next person. They don't grow. They're having failures. It's the same people, commenting in these groups, asking the same questions they're telling you for, advice. So you have to just, you have to put two and two together with this stuff. But, not doing soil samples. Now there's a lot of companies selling liquid lime. Now, I don't necessarily like liquid lime. I'm not a fan of it. I've used some brands of it, and I have not seen any results from it. I've done soil samples before and after. I have not seen the rise in pH. I just don't see it. I am a true believer in actual lime. When you use actual lime, you are correcting long-term success. You're correcting the root cause of the pH imbalance in your soil. So lime, actual bags of lime added to the soil, is a long-term solution. Liquid lime is not a long-term solution. So therefore, that lime, liquid, is a shortcut. You're temporarily fixing, maybe, depending on the brand you use, I guess, but you're temporarily fixing the pH problem. What is it, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the road, your pH just skyrockets down again. So then you have to add it again and again and again. It's a shortcut. So that's one thing, one part of it. The next thing is liquids. Believe it or not, my time on YouTube, I was mainly, I don't know if I was the first, but one of the first people to promote foliar feeding. You know, all these liquid fertilizers and micronutrients and things. I blew that up in the hunting world, okay? My channel, I have hundreds of videos teaching foliar feeding. Now, foliar feeding is a great benefit to your food plot and habitat management program, but you shouldn't use foliar feeding alone to improve your food plot. All this stuff are technically shortcuts. You have to start with the soil. If you improve the soil through whatever your method is, disking, no-till, what, you know, all this, you know, now you have regenerative, you know, ag and all this other stuff, which is great. It's a great thing if you can do it that way. If you want to do it that way, it's great. But you have to start with the soil. The richer the soil is, the more nutrient dense your soil is, the higher quality plants you're going to have, the higher quality deer you're going to have, right? Where does the nutrients come from? The nutrients come from the soil, gives it to the plants, gives it to the wildlife when they consume it. So soil samples, you know, shortcuts. Liquid lime, shortcut. Liquid fertilizers and things are shortcuts. Now, these types of things can be added to your habitat management program, but they shouldn't be the base of it, right? Is foliar feeding beneficial to your program, to your plants? 100%. 100% beneficial, but it shouldn't be in replace of actual fertilizer, regenerative, you know, if you're doing it the regenerative way, letting the plants decompose, it just takes longer, right? So just think about that when you come into this fall hunting food plot season. It's getting that time, it's getting close to where you guys need to start thinking about it. So just something to consider, you know, do things the right way. We're in a world now where everything is a shortcut. Everybody's quick, you know, nobody wants to take the time to do things the right way. And, you know, I was never born that way. You know, I wasn't brought up that way to shortcut. I like to do things the proper way. I investigate it, I research it, trial and error, and I try to always do things the right way. Hopefully this makes sense to you and will prevent a lot of fails in the future for you guys. Any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys on the next video.